Yeah, that's gonna need some work. Oh, a tick. Yum. You know, if there's one thing that kind of terrifies me, it's when I'm expected to handle problems in life on my own. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the challenge, and sometimes it can be fun learning new things, but when you're expected to handle things on your own and you have little to no experience doing them, that can definitely be kind of scary.
It's Jimmy, back with another breakdown. You read the title. Our generation is terrified of failure. Last few months of my life have been pushing my comfort zones a lot recently. And what I mean by that, from a couple different regards, is that I've been doing a lot of things that have been kind of challenging me. I've finally got my first job lined up after months of rejections and job hunting. Just last week, I asked a girl out for the first time, only to realize she was married. And just a few months ago, I got my first car and have spent the last few months learning how to fix cars and certain parts on them. And all of this has been extremely out of my comfort zone. And over the last few months of spending a lot of time just doing things out of my comfort zone, like working on cars or asking out someone, one thing I've learned is that, Gen Z is really terrified of failure. Speaking of failure, I better not fall in this. That would make for funny video footage, but not much else. Excuse me, plants. Squishy. It's been a little muddy out here since it rained last night. One thing I've noticed that I think a lot of people in our generation struggle with is that we are terrified of messing up on the first try. Because we see social media so much, and because we compare ourselves to people online all the time, we always think we need to be doing better, or that we're not doing, like when we start something off for the first time, we think we need to naturally be good at it from day one, right? And I think social media, especially like YouTube challenges, have really fried people's brains in this regard. I feel like all these videos, like, I got my friend jacked in 30 days. Those types of videos? Those videos out there, like someone transforming their life in a 30-day period or less. Like, that stuff, I feel like, really screws with you psychologically. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I need to film more of this stuff usually. Yeah, we're out here in goofy on nature. I think people in our generation are too hard on themselves. We expect ourselves to just get something perfect on the first try, and a lot of times that's just not how life works. And I will freely admit that when I was younger, I had this kind of almost this obsession of needing to get things as perfect as possible on the first try. And I was mad at myself when I couldn't do it. A great example. When I used to play basketball, when I was in high school, had some friends, nothing like actual sports related, just doing it for fun with friends and stuff like that. But I was always mad at myself because I could never shoot a basket right. I almost always missed, bounced off, terrible. But the thing was I expected myself to be naturally good at this without ever having practiced a day of my life. And it's like, well, duh, of course you're not doing as well as everyone else because you never have put in any effort into this. You've never actually tried to get good, as people would say at this. If there's one thing the last few months have taught me, is that you will make mistakes and you are going to look pretty stupid when it happens. Great little story to go along with that. So when I was working on my car, as I was doing in the intro of this video, literally right after I was filming the intro of this video, I was going to put this last bolt in to the caliper because I was swapping out the brake pads. And I somehow broke the bolt, like I destroyed the threads on it. And because of this, I couldn't reassemble the caliper, and thus I couldn't take my car anywhere. And so anyway, I have to wait for my dad to come back, and he orders a new bolt because the threads are so stinking ruined. And we pick up that bolt, get some Subway, and then we come back home and we reassemble the caliper with this new bolt, and it's fine after that. But I had to learn, I had to go through mistakes and failures. I had to learn that you have to hold the bolt just right and make sure it's dead on accurate and straight, or otherwise you risk destroying the threads when you're trying to screw it in with an impact driver. And so that was a mistake on my part, and I had to learn that mistake in order to be more prepared for the next time I'm working on my car. But failure is a part of the process. Failure is part of the journey. I mean, think about it. Failure in some ways is a great teacher, because no matter how painful or annoying it might be, when we fail, we will remember it more than if we succeeded somehow by accident. Sheesh, look at the woods around me. Ooh. You know what the best part about being out in the woods is? No one can hear you. Ah! I'm really getting off topic here. Anyway, that really echoed. So the point of the matter is failure is a part of the process. And you gotta fail in order to get better and just be more prepared for next time. Another thing that went wrong was, as I was just talking about in the intro of this video, is I asked a girl out for the first time only to figure out she was married. But you know what? That experience was still valuable, because I realized that asking someone out is not nearly as scary or difficult as getting over the mental roadblock that it took to reach that point of being able to ask them out. So sometimes it's really the mind games that are holding you back, that are making you terrified of failure. Failure in and of itself usually isn't what holds people back. It's usually the fear of failure that holds us back in life. And it's really quite funny, because the more you take action and you don't let fear stop you, the more you get done and the more that you learn. Failure is a part of the process. And fear is the number one thing that seems to hold us back, even more so than failure itself. It's that fear of, I'm going to look dumb, I'm going to mess up, and I'm not going to look like a Chad. It's like, I think some people are just terrified of losing aura. They're terrified of looking dumb in the moment, and so they sacrifice the potential to learn a lesson because they're too worried about how they look in the moment versus how this is going to benefit them in the future. And over the next few months, I'm only going to be challenging myself more and more to do things outside of my comfort zone. Like, for instance, trying to get back to posting on this channel daily. I want to keep doing that even after I start my new job here in a few weeks. Another thing I want to try and do is just be able to start pushing myself and getting better in different directions. But sometimes that requires doing things outside of your comfort zone. And that can be scary sometimes. And sometimes you just have to work with what you have to work with. Kind of like how I don't have a good microphone to film these videos with right now, but I just gotta make it work. Just like I don't really have much natural lighting to work with. But you know what? We're only gonna go up from here. We're only gonna get better. The worst thing you can do with your life is absolutely nothing. And that's one of the reasons why I started uploading on this channel and stopped making videos about video games. It's because I realized that I want to do something fulfilling with my life. And I actually want to challenge myself too. I don't just want to be in the same boat for the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm challenging everyone out there. Do not be afraid to fail. I'm challenging you, everyone watching this video. Do not be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to mess up. And I know it's going to look, you're going to feel stupid in the moment when things go wrong. Like if I almost stepped in that poop right there. That would have been stupid, and I probably would have learned the lesson. Don't look where you're walking. Don't step in the poop. But you know what? That's okay. You'll learn. And I've stepped in poop before. And I've learned to watch where I'm walking on these trails. For all of you out there, do not be afraid to challenge yourselves. Do not be afraid of doing things that are outside of your comfort zone. You're only going to grow more as an individual when you're willing to risk it. Have this mindset. You're only going to go up from here. You're only going to get better. Every day is a gift, and you know what? Regardless of what happens or how stupid you looked one day, there's always tomorrow. We got to keep moving forward. We got to keep pushing ourselves. Especially in today's day and age. We don't know how much time we have. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. And so practice each day with gratitude. And just be willing to push yourselves. Be willing to step out of that comfort zone. And just continue to keep moving forward. Don't you dare give up.
This is Jimmy, signing out.